On this episode of Heartbroke, James is feeling burnt out and lost, and it's starting to impact his relationship with Haley.
I was always able to pay my rent, but I still always felt like I was just paycheck to paycheck.
What can they do to find new hope as they make a huge life change?
We are moving soon to Colorado. And
Do you want to see him, stick with music?
And so I can't be like, do this thing that you don't want to do. I would like him to believe that he can be successful.
This is a show about love, money, and the difficult stuff that happens in between. We're giving couples a financial game plan to solve their challenges. But will they be able to make things work after 6 weeks? Or will the trial prove too testing?
I'm Haley, I'm 29, and I do lashes and permanent makeup.
I'm James, I'm 33 years old, I'm a musician, and we have been dating and living together for about 4 years.
I always say that our relationship is pretty perfect, except we have trouble talking about finances. It normally leads to sort of an argument.
With COVID, what I came out to California for, music, was literally just torn to the ground. So our financial situation right now is not great. I don't think money solves your problems, but I think, well,
I'm different. I feel like money definitely will solve our problems.
So we do have a lot of big changes coming up in our lives. She sold her business and everything. We're gonna be moving to Colorado.
Last year I made about $95,000 and some change.
I made about $16,000 before taxes. So I guess total that's about 111 or so.
Our monthly expenses right now are about $6,500. We don't really spend a lot of money on things that we shouldn't, but I don't feel like I really get very much money to myself. I hope we get on even playing fields, both bringing the same amount to the table. I think if we were able to do that, we would just soar.
So how do things feel financially right now for you both?
So I don't think that they feel necessarily like terrible, like I'm not like, oh, all the time, but I do want to get our finances more in order.
And how about you, James?
I came out for music. And so I've been doing that for pretty much 8 years up until the pandemic.
How much money were you making at that time when things were, before things changed with the pandemic?
I was always able to pay my rent, but I still always felt like I was just paycheck to paycheck.
Okay.
And I don't want to be paycheck to paycheck anymore.
Okay.
And I love music, but I immediately get anxiety and I get stressed because for 8 years I've been doing it under such stress, and I don't want that anymore. One of the hard things is she's so supportive of the music. My family's so supportive of the music that they don't really understand that I kind of want to walk away from it. I want to find something that I can have an income.
Okay.
And I want to move forward with her. We are moving soon to Colorado. And
Okay. Tell me about Colorado. Why Colorado?
It just really seemed like somewhere we could call home and raise a family.
we're heading out at the end of this month so that we can look at a few apartments. And to add to that, I still am gonna do music, so I will be flying back to do that, and it's well paying, but it's just those are few and far between.
And so what will change as far as, your bills?
We're shooting for $2,000 for rent.
Okay.
So we're upgrading our space
Okay.
and then rent.
Downgrading that rent.
Yeah, and I know our car
Very high
insurance will go
here.
down.
Just the cost of living too, I think.
Right. I can make the same exact amount of money, if not more there.
You're gonna maybe look for something.
Yeah, so I actually am in talks with some people, and I'll learn about farming and all that kind of stuff. So I want to try to get a job in that when I get out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think he has more potential than he realizes?
When we first met, I literally instantly was like, oh my God, this guy's gonna be famous. What's he gonna do with me? And then I was like, oh, he's living out of his car. No, but he has so much potential. It makes me crazy.
So what happens if he doesn't find work?
No idea. It would not be good.
Yeah.
I think maybe sell pictures of your feet on Craigslist. I don't know.
Yeah, so he's gonna need to hustle and find work. Okay.
We both might. I kind of would rather die before I did it, but if I have to, I'll go bartend.
And so for your business, do you have it set up as an LLC? Any insurance for the business? Anything separating it from you?
No,
No.
just
Okay.
me.
Have you ever worked on a budget together?
Negative. We have not ever done anything like that.
So you know what's going on with the money though?
I have no idea.
Okay. Is there anything that you'd change about the way he handles money or thinks about it if you could?
I would like him to believe that he can be successful once he sets his mind to something. Like, he definitely is good at getting it, but the only thing has been money. Like, he can't, the money is just not happening.
And how do you feel about the work that you've done in 8 years?
There was a period for a few months where I was living in my car, eating peanuts because that's all I could afford. Just like the will to keep going and not like quit.
People think like, oh, you know, you've just got to keep pushing and grinding until things like magically happen. And I think it's absolutely okay to like shift gears. I just think it's how you feel about it.
Right. That's why I always feel so bad. It's like, I know most of her money is going to stuff that I could really help lighten the load on if I have the means to.
She was saying that like if she can't, you know, if she doesn't get clients right away, she'll bartend, she'll sell pictures of her feet online.
Yeah.
How about you? What's your?
I don't know if anybody wants pictures of my feet, but no, I'll do what I have to do. You know, just like I am right now. I'm going and rearranging Rite Aid makeup walls and stuff.
Are either of you good at asking for help?
I'm trying to get better, but as far as like what I'm gonna do in the future, that's where I just feel like I'm not getting just much input from her, you know?
So what do you think will happen if nothing changes?
Like I said, I'm kind of at my rock bottom right now, you know, so. But I'm determined to make it different.
I hope that I can help. I have a couple of things that I'd love to see you both do. You mentioned that you're going to visit Denver to look for places. I want you to set a budget for that. Are we taking the dog? What do we need to do? Then just figure out how much it's going to cost. Try to get in the habit of just knowing how much you're going to spend. Also, I'd like to see you start to find job options before you go. I know we have a lot riding on this one connection, but I think you need to already start looking at like, okay, what happens if there's a plan B, if this falls through? But I think you also need to figure out what you need help with. Sometimes when we say, I need help, it's really hard for the other person to help unless they know exactly what you need. If it's researching jobs that you think would be really appealing to you, I think she'd be more than happy to kind of help this along because it's obviously going to benefit the both of you. And then for Haley, I have something for you. I think you need to create an LLC, which is a limited liability company. You're in a business where you're physically touching people, and if you don't have any legal separation between you and the business, you could really be crushing if something happens and you end up getting sued. So I think it's really important to get that set up for you right now, just so you're protected. So how do those goals sound for right now before we meet again? Sound okay?
That's perfect. Yeah.
I personally feel good because I finally have a plan, you know, from someone who knows what they're doing, even if it's just a small
Step. Yeah, I feel good too because it's things that I've thought about doing in the past, but didn't really know if I needed to go that direction or not, so it was kind of confirmation to do those things.
Hi! Hello. We are in Colorado.
Yep.
Looking for apartments.
One was a dud.
One was a dud.
There, yeah.
Misty told us to make a budget for our Denver trip. 60 for airport parking, pet sitter 200, craziness. Food and drinks 200, and then flights 300. And yeah, hopefully we find an apartment.
So we have more to check out, and we will update as we go.
Yep.
Hey, it's so good to see you guys again. I noticed some boxes.
So we did find a place to live.
When's the moving date?
4 days.
4 days from now. How are you guys feeling?
Stressed.
Okay.
No, overwhelmed in a good way.
Before you went out to Colorado to look for the place, I asked you to create a budget for that trip. How did that go?
It was good.
It was helpful.
Because I always like plan all the trips and I don't ever look at a budget. After adding everything up, it still ended up being well over $1,000. Like it put things in perspective.
You had that awareness of like, okay, this is what this costs. And so I think when you know, you just don't come back with that question like, oh my God, where did this money go? Have you done any exploring into like what you want to make sure you set up as far as the business when you head out there and how you plan to get more clients?
Yeah, so I did look into the LLC like you mentioned, and that's something that I'm absolutely gonna do.
Setting up the LLC will protect you, especially when you're in such close contact with people.
As far as like my job leads, that all kind of fell through a little bit,
Okay.
like just not really reliable contacts,
Yeah.
unfortunately. So I'm kind of back to sending out resumes and emails and stuff, just trying to make sure that I can find something.
So you mentioned that you had some music. How is that going? Have those gigs started yet, or?
Yeah, I have one every month.
So how much do you think per month that you can pretty much count on?
It's between 800 and 1,000
Okay.
when we do those gigs. I can go sing, get paid well, and then I can focus my energy on some other stuff.
It sounds like it's back to being fun.
Exactly.
How has it changed for you guys going through this process?
I feel like we have had a lot less arguments about money. It's just something we have to talk about and figure out. And I think it's only gonna get better from here. I think we're on our way up.
I'm feeling good. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good too. I think it was nice to see everything laid out in a way that was easier to understand.
I think our relationship has changed, I wouldn't say drastically over this process, but I think it's a lot easier to talk about money.
It is our last day in this apartment, and we are about to get on the road.
Super tired.
Super tired. I am very thankful for this experience. So thank you very much, Misty, and we're very excited to see where this all goes for us.
Yep.